it.
Yay.
With an error of something or other. Somebody just asked what beer I was. Oh, somebody was asking what beer I was drinking. I'll wait until we go live. It's,
We're
shit.
We're live.
We've gone live.
Oh, you know what? Hang on. I bet it's because I. Hang on.
I'm on the deck.
Yeah, it's because I refreshed this stupid. Let me just turn the mute off on this thing as well. All right. Somebody asked what beer I was drinking. Idiot. Wrong fucking screen.
What, do I look really serious today?
A little bit.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I think it's the angle.
Denomination origins of the Canadian from New Image. It's actually another one of the New Image ones. I've been kind of liking on these ones. They're actually rather yummy.
All right, hold on. Grain belt of Minnesota.
Oh wait.
Oh, what color is that? Do I even want to know what color that is? Is that
Very light, very pale. It's what we call an all-day beer.
Hang on, what are you doing drinking the fizzy stuff?
A vintage 2020 diet.
What are you doing drinking that stuff? That's worse for you than those damn. Oh my god, that's worse for you than those bloody
energy drinks.
Thank you.
Not sure what you're saying there, Chris. I don't get it.
Says the guy who actually was bouncing around like an idiot today because my Iron Brew turned up from Scotland. Have you guys ever seen Iron Brew? You've never seen? All right, hang on. I'm gonna get a bottle. I'm not opening a bottle because it's
Did he just give me shit for drinking a Diet Dew?
Well, yeah, and I'm gonna give you shit because it's diet, so it means it's worse for you than the regular stuff.
Oh, shit! Now I spilled it. Now look what you did. Well, 3 words for you. Fuck you.
Oh, thanks.
This is the good stuff.
I take it back. I felt bad about that.
This is the good stuff.
Okay.
That's Iron Brew. It's probably upside down.
What does that do?
It's good stuff. It's from Scotland.
What does it do?
Interesting.
It's good for you. It has ingredients. Shit, getting old. Carbonated water, sugar, citric acid, natural and artificial flavorings, including caffeine, quinine. Oh yeah, we got all the good stuff. We got caffeine and quinine just to keep you all up and happy.
Who doesn't like puppies?
Oh, puppy.
Oh, cute puppy.
Little bite.
Yeah.
That is so fucking cute.
So cute.
Everybody likes puppies.
Now it's dark out, so be careful if you walk around.
Yeah.
I know. You know, what was it, Sunday? I accidentally closed her in the sliding glass door. She's so fast, and you don't even know she's like there. She's all right though now.
Good.
Just sits here and looks at me.
I just said Milo was. Hang on, let's turn this up a little bit because it was low.
What do you want?
There we go.
All right.
Oh, all right. I'm pouring beer. Bugger the rest of you guys and your damn light, weird, fuzzy stuff.
Here's the deal. When I drank dark beers and I went through a phase, they're just too heavy. It's just it's
nothing. Seriously, that is good. Light is absorbed.
I'm about to say that's a black hole.
Oh yeah, and that perfect. It's exactly.
So what's the dominant flavor?
In this one, so they actually had some fun with this one. This is, hang on. Ooh, okay, that's a good one. Some light chocolates, some good some fruits. That's actually okay. I'm bringing some of this to you when we catch up. This will get you back on the good dog bin, none of the heavy shenanigans. I'm good. I got Iron Brew, water, beer. I'm in good shape. I just need snacks, and then we're in good shape.
So
you're up.
Yeah. So here's my question.
What's the haps?
This week alone, what do you estimate your number of scam calls received was? I'm going to go with 25, and they span the gamut. What do you got?
How many do you have?
I would say this week I probably received roughly 25 scam calls. Spanning like the phone calls. Spoofed phone number, called my phone.
I'm running higher on this one. So I run higher on this one, and it actually nails a lot of them. Not all of them, but it nails a lot of them.
So what do you think? 2, 5?
No, probably 5 to 10. 5 to 10 for me. Actually, I'd take that back because
25? What the hell are you doing? 25, man. What are you doing?
He's out there.
Listen. I don't mind getting scam calls. That's how I know what scams are going on out there. That's how I know how to keep people in the loop, right?
Do it on a burner phone. Yeah.
But look, I'm an open book. You can find whatever you want to find, whatever. I'll stand tall before anything and everything. It's like, whatever. And I've had the phone number for 15 years. So it's been lost in every damn database I ever gave it to.
Well, this one's been out probably not quite that long. 10 or 11 years I'll probably have this one. Give or take a bit. Like 10 or 11 years, give or take a bit. I'll tell you though, I'm using a lot of the times on websites, unless it's something that needs it, I'll use like a digit or two off. So I'll apologize to whoever keeps getting my calls. But I'm kind of like, when somebody's like, do we need your telephone? I'm like, why? And it's that, or I'll, with that one, I've got the hire running on that one, and it's actually not bad. I'll give it credit. It even comes up every now and again and says, potential scam call, and I just ignore it at that point. The ones that are getting through are like the stupid shit. Like this morning, I mean, I'm no kidding to you. I mean, I woke up this morning to a phone call from an automated system that says it was Cigna. Hire identified it as potentially Cigna Insurance. And it was like, we need to verify who you are, +1 to agree and 3 to say no. And I pressed 1. And then it was like, we need to verify your date of birth. Please type it in. I'm like, oh, fuck off. Because I'm like, if this is Cigna, why are you calling me? Why haven't you told me that you're calling me? And what the hell is going on? I mean, maybe it's because, Mo went to a doctor's. Maybe it's to validate a bill. But I'm like, you got to do better than this shit. Because it even introduced itself like, hi, my name is, whatever the hell the name was this morning, and kept on going. I'm like, bot. At least be honest with me about this shit. I don't know.
Ryan.
Yes.
I don't think I got one this week, man.
You didn't get any scam calls this week?
No.
I'm surprised.
The vendor calls, scam calls? How about vendor calls where they promise you the earth?
Well, those are a different kind of scam. We're going to talk about that too, right? Because there's more than one scam out there. There's the vendor scams. Here's what I got this week. So I got the tax scam with the magistrate. I've been hit with that one for a while. So if I don't take immediate action now, then the magistrate, the judge, their 3 nephews, and a Klansman are all going to show up at my house and cause trouble.
Right.
Okay, so that's that one. There's a roofing scam going around where they're calling about storm damage. And they are trying to confirm that your address is associated with your phone number. They're trying to confirm it's an information confirmation scam instead of an information extraction scam. And they're trying to schedule, hey, when can we come by? What's a good time for you? Or what's a good time that you won't be, and obviously it's COVID, so you're probably going to be home, but it's the same scam that was going around last year. So I've been getting those, texts, right? And even some of the texts I'm getting that aren't necessarily scams, but like unsolicited political texts that I'm receiving, right? And I'm on the do not call list.
Yeah.
But that, I don't think I'm on the do not text list.
I'm getting a bunch of the texts. I've got to be honest. I'm getting more. And it pisses me off because obviously with the Apple system, it comes in on the phone, it hits the damn iPod, and it hits the computer. I'm going to wipe it out in 3 places. I'm like, oh, you bastards. And you can lock it in 1.
We do this do not call thing. We do, we've taken all these steps and measures. I'm a T-Mobile customer, and I will give them a ton of credit for being the first to implement anti-scam notifications, right? They led the charge on that.
Yeah.
They continue to do so. I now have a couple of additional apps that I can activate that will further, that allow me to then report the numbers as being scam associated. But the numbers are all spoofed. I mean, we were chatting earlier on social media, and Gabriel had made a comment about blocking the number. Well, that can blow up in your face. I blocked. I wasn't paying attention. I blocked the wrong number. Because when they call from your phone number, or they call from your spouse's phone number. And then you know, and I wasn't thinking, I'm just like, damn it, scam call, hit the block button, paying no attention whatsoever to what the actual number was that had called me.
It's, I've had what they've been clever at for the last, I don't know, couple of years or whatever, is more and more of the calling from like a semi-local number. And again, that's the problem. You know, I go out on a regular basis, I'll deal with something and I want somebody to call me back. Like today, I went out looking at a vehicle, and because it was appointment only, I'm like, oh shit. They're like, oh, we'll grab your number, we'll give you a call. I wandered around the lot and they called me. And the problem is, you know, half an hour later, I'm sitting there and another one calls from a 719 number. And I'm like, scam. And it's really annoying because you don't even know if it is or if it isn't. It's
so to answer Evan's question and a question in the chat, why so many calls? Let me tell you a quick story about when I fell for a scam. Okay. Let me tell you how I wound up in the database that says this fool pays us money. Okay. So I'm down in Vegas and I just arrived. I'm exiting the car and I get a call about breast cancer, money for the Breast Cancer Association.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not stupid enough to give my information out over the phone, but what they did is they said, hey, listen, you know, this is this, and I wasn't paying close enough attention, so it's 100% my fault. But they did the transfer thing where the guy's like, hey, we're looking for donations. If you're interested, we'll route you over to so-and-so. So in my head, you know, because I give to PBS and several other that work that way. That's the way it normally works when I deal with a charity, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Route me over to Susie Q and we'll details. So I get to Susie and you know she's like, credit card over the phone. I'm like, no, but if you have a website I can go to, you know, I'll do it that way. And she's like, well, would you feel more comfortable if we mailed you a form? And I'm like, snail mail. If they're taking time, scammers don't make paperwork. Why would a scammer make paperwork? It wasn't in my head.
Yeah.
The depth of detail that some of these scams run to.
Oh.
And so I get this packet. It's a full stack packet. Nice print, nice copy, good graphics. So what do? I fill it out and I send in the card.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, it sucks.
I didn't even know I was scammed until the next year. Because as far as I knew, I gave money to charity. Check the box and move on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I did it, moving on. So it ends up coming around. And I got hit, you know, they called me again. And I was gonna, I'm like, no, you know, can't you pull from last year or whatever? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, we can do that. I didn't want to have to refill out paperwork, right? I'm like, isn't my stuff on file? When they went to run it, they had gotten flagged between then when I first gave to them and the second time around, and my bank let me know that it was a known fraudulent, right?
Oh, that sucks.
So and it was 100% because I was off my game and I didn't realize and I went and I reversed kind of what happened. Well, as soon as I show up in Vegas, I'm pinging little devices they've got planted all over the place for dopey tourists showed up, right? So I you know, the presence of my phone triggers a ping. Hey, we got one on the hook.
Yeah.
And I'm off the plane drunk as shit, ready to party.
Oh, that sucks.
So I get calls like this one. Is this a scam call? Listen to it.
查询。您好，这里是中国领事馆文件通知，您有一封重要文件尚未领取，如有任何疑问，请按铃，由华语部门员工为您查询。
Anybody speak?
So
Yeah.
I don't speak Mandarin, but I'm going to say, yeah, probably a scam call. But the tinfoil hat in me says subliminal messaging.
I get Chinese calls all the time. I don't think the Chinese like
See,
me.
what are you doing? I don't do that.
Yeah.
You're calling me.
I don't get the Chinese calls. Business owner, multiple years, up in rural, you know, middle of bloody nowhere. Let's face it, that's what it is. Yes, Rachel, it is Mandarin.
Should I call back?
No, don't call them back.
Not from your personal.
Yeah,
Yes, always call them back.
we got a
Like
spare.
the Chinese know where I'm at.
I got a
Yeah,
1866
up
number
there.
for all that shit.
You got a satellite right up there. They're watching right now.
Oh, bless them. Wave them or moon. Don't moon them on a YouTube video. Otherwise, we'll end up, well, we're already R-rated for crying out loud. So why bother? Moon them. Have at it.
It's going to get real.
We get a phone call from the NSA. Will you please stop Evan from mooning off freaking satellites?
It's good stuff. So, so here's the thing, right? We get them. And even those of us that should know better, being humans,
Yep.
it's why security pros still fall for phishing scams. It's why this stuff works, is it's playing to our base human, instincts. And if you hit somebody just enough off kilter with a plausible enough angle, and the problem is that works on those that are in the know. When you start hitting up grandma who can barely hear,
yeah,
and you're saying, I'm in jail, don't tell mom, I need some bail money.
Well, it's better than that. I mean, my mum gets hit up with them every now and again because I think everybody thinks she's a soft target because she's my mother. If they figured out 2 and 2, mum gets hit up with them. But the one that she typically gets hit up with is, hi, we're from Microsoft. We noticed your computer is on the internet, and it's actually calling out and it's actually attacking systems. We'd love to help you because we're nice people. If we can have access into your system, if you go to here and you do this and this. And she's just like, no, thank you. My son looks after my system. Click. And I'm like,
right?
Yeah. But again, if it wasn't my mother and I mean, she's mid-late 70s. I know so many freaking people who fall for that. And again, to your point, you get a soft, I mean, this morning, the Signal one this morning, I mean, it's like, hey, date of birth. And I was like this, and I'm like, whoa, quit that shit. And it's like, hey, want your date of birth? I'm like, hey, get me to a human. We need your date of birth. Get me to a human. Oh, well, and then it ended by, we'll call you back tomorrow. So I'm going to be intrigued to see if it does call back. And then I'm actually going to call Signal and go, hey, is this you? I'll trace the number and all that shit. We'll see if it is them, because if it is, I'm going to give them a freaking earful. Like, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Well, the new one here that will grow in popularity soon, there's going to be a lot of disinformation phone calls, right? So using scam techniques of cold calling, but it's going to be disinformation. I got one the other day. It was, hello, this is Alice or whoever the hell she said she was, right? And then it was, did you know 40% of Americans? And I'm like, hang up.
Yeah.
Because we're going to see that. We're going to see more active disinformation and information warfare coming.
The information warfare is the big one, because it's this. Okay, so I've been hitting, obviously us on YouTube, and I've been watching like Top Gear and the other things on YouTube. And what's pissing me off is all the political ads that are really starting to show up. I mean, we've got, in my neck of the woods, we've got Hickenlooper and a whole bunch of BS and messing around the scum with that. And it's all that shit. And damn well they'll start the robocalls the same way. And it's always their side of the information. It's like, if you could actually give me a robocall and look, hey, I'm going to give you both sides of the argument. You make your own damn decision up. Then I'd be happy. I'm like, okay, I'll actually listen to this. But when it's like, oh no, it's this way, and you're ignoring the inconvenient facts that point to something completely different, I'm like, I give up with that shit, because it's the same. To me, it classifies the same way. It's the same thing as the vendors. It's like when they call up and it's that, hey, we're in the top right-hand quadrant of the freaking Gartner, and they ignore the fact that everybody else is above them in that quadrant, and they've just cut and paste just that one piece that points them out. I'm like, you guys are as bad as fucking everybody else.
Well, and who gives a shit about Gartner anyway, right? It's pay to play.
It's pay to play.
Oh man, I think I put it. What did I say? Gartner sunshine. But it's frustrating because again, that should. If they were doing the way they should do it, and if they were doing what they should be doing and the intent of what they tell everybody they're doing, to me, it would be fantastic, because it would be that level playing field. Everybody would be measured equally and effectively, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But unfortunately, it isn't.
Right. Hey, do you have any recordings of your scam calls?
I've probably got some. You've been listening to them because we've been catching bits of it as we've been going through stuff.
Because I have more Chinese ones, but I don't know what any of them mean, so whatever.
You have to send them over. My Mandarin's not too bad. I caught half of that. Oh, there we go. I got the higher one. Yeah, I got higher. Eldorado Natural Spring Water, apparently. Another higher, Stephen V. Yeah. I mean, actually, high's blocking a bunch. I'm getting a
Hey,
bunch.
JJ Lowry wants to give me a $350,000 business loan.
Oh, no shit. I've been getting, yeah, okay, there's another one that's been black. Hey, all right, I did the stupid thing on that one. I was getting the text message.
Call this.
Hmm?
I'm gonna call it.
I did a couple of those, and I'm like, okay, I want to see what happens on those.
Your personal, business, and SBA resource, offering prime and subprime loan programs. If you want to be placed on our do not call list, dial extension 2 now. All other callers, dial your desired extension now
boring.
or hold for the next available agent.
I'll hold
Thank
for a
you
while.
for calling Money Man for business.
Money Man.
There's a few of
that
those.
sounds legitimate.
I would go with that one. That's a good. I mean, you can get your. I had a couple of those. Do I pay for hire? I'm not sure. Sorry, Matt. I think I paid for it originally. I probably do pay for it, but honestly, I don't even remember. I think it's a subscription. Truthfully, I don't remember. Let me find out.
In fact, we have already helped thousands of business owners just like you.
Sorry, I'm on hold. I'm waiting to talk to JJ.
Are you calling him now?
Right, share this app. Help.
I don't know if he's open at 10:30 at night.
I think I've got the premium. Yeah, I do have the premium service, auto renewal. So according to Matt, I think I do pay for it. Premium results, yeah, several hundred. So it's actually blocked a bunch. I'll give it credit. It's the one that I do like. Are we all finding spam messages?
All right, I got one. Hold on. Here it is.
Ryan, I'm gonna give this guy your phone number. Is that cool?
I guess.
Might as well. Everybody else has got it.
Right? He gets 25 calls a day.
All right, let's see if you guys can hear this. Okay.
Serious attention. Ignoring this will be an intentional second attempt to avoid initial appearance before a magistrate, judge, or a grand jury.
Dude, you're going to
for a federal
jail.
criminal offense.
Sweet.
This is the final attempt to reach you. To resolve this issue immediately and to speak to a federal agent, press 1. I repeat, to speak to a federal agent, press 1.
Oh, wow. Hey, actually, Ryan, this is a good question for you, and you don't have to answer, but how is your credit?
Enough to where people want to call me?
That's what I'm wondering, because mine isn't, because of all the bullshit I went through. I mean, again, I don't care, to be honest, because of all the stuff I went through. I went from like mid-high sevens, and because of all the BS with the X, I ended up having to, I think I went down to like 560, 580, and it's just over 600 now. So I'm not a good target for a lot of the normal stuff. And I wonder if that's part of it. I wonder if it's because...
It might be. I mean, here's a fascinating statistic. In my family, I'm the breadwinner. My credit rating is significantly lower than my wife's.
Oh, that's interesting.
She lives in what we call rarefied air.
Oh, wow. Oh, so she is in the rare. Okay, yeah. Then that's interesting. But I mean, you would think...
But I am the primary source of income in the family.
I wonder if it's just because that they're doing all the...
I don't know. It's always been higher. 20 years of marriage, even when it was low, hers was still higher. Like always, like at least 15 to 20 points higher than mine always.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so this might just get blown out. Obsidian Arrow, whomever is Obsidian Arrow, bad credit and get more calls than Ryan. Okay, then I recommend getting higher as well, to be perfectly honest. Who am I running these days? I'm running Verizon. I gotta give Verizon some credit as well. They're actually nailing a fair amount. I think I was on T-Mobile for a while and they were pretty damn good. But higher was still getting pinged a ton.
Well, they merged with Sprint and they've got the low cancer bandwidth for their 5G.
Yeah.
So 600 instead of the, uglies.
The low cancer bandwidth.
Oh yeah, I want to be at the hertz that was identified in the 40s as being bad for humans. That's the frequency I want to
That's
operate.
what we need to be, deep fried humans. I'm actually working on something at the moment. Jen hit me up the other day, and so apparently Evan with his puppy, it induces these whole endomorphins or whatever the hell they are, the same thing you get with kids, or some people get with kids and everything else.
No, that's heartburn, Chris. You got it all confused.
Yeah, no
Kids
shit.
give
Tell
you
me about it. I
heartburn.
might do that. But what it is it's a signal that's basically input into the brain, then obviously reduces whatever the hell it is. Yeah, heartburn probably, but endomorphins, all that kind of weird shit. I don't think it's oxytocin. That's it. Oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
That's the stuff. There we go. Oxytocin. So apparently,
also known the love drug.
yeah, there we go. So apparently there's a way of inducing that. So I'm like, okay, if I can figure out how to fuck around with signals as I'm doing with the EEG monitor, I'm wondering if I can start piping that around the place using our friendly 5G networks.
Interesting that you bring that up. So I saw a study, we'll call this maybe 3-4 years ago, where they took mice and they were attempting to study the effect of blue light and digital video on neural response, on vision. Like they were looking at all kinds of things. And what they noticed was that there was a correlation between certain light frequencies and behavior. And I've always pondered if we could find the correct set of frequencies to trigger the appropriate brain state, one could affect quite a bit of change. So yeah, we should have a call at some point offline. I got some research and ideas that might be.
I spent a bunch of time messing around with it last night because what I ended up doing, the light one, I'm actually aware of. I found that one last night. The light study is really interesting. For me though, that's a tough one. What I would much rather do is mess around with one of these things on a frequency generator and see if I can mess with either these or the actual systems themselves, the 4G, 5G cell tower systems. Because at that point, it's subliminal. If I have this and I have to do light or I have to see it, I'm going to be very aware of it. But if I don't see it and I don't understand it, then I can control without you actually know it, which to me, I'm great with. I'm like in a sign me up for that kind of job.
Well, I like it. Here's the scary part, people. If we're thinking about it,
yeah, he's fucking around with it.
We ain't the first. And if we were after the video post, we won't be
We're not going to be the first for very long, Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people in DC going, shit, what the hell are they doing?
Shut up, guys, quiet, shut your mouth.
But no, seriously, it is one of those things where I'm like, okay, because I mean, the EEG sensors, I can actually pick up minuscule changes. So if I can actually figure out what does the oxytocin stuff, and I can get a 3D map in my brain of what it actually looks like, I already know the induction signal. I've been fucking around with actually putting signals back in the brain. We'll just leave that aside for the minute. So I'm figuring out what the actual induction signal would be to actually change it. So if I can do that, then I can figure out what signals are and tunes and all that stuff. So that's the plan. We'll have a conversation on this one.
So yeah, and we definitely should, because my wife does like a ton of hormone research.
Oh.
Which is the key to that whole what actually makes it. So she's got, I don't know, a plethora of research documents around hormones and how they interact with the human body. And
we need Justin Monoblano will be another one that we need to dig into. Evan, are you still trying to find scam messages?
I think he is.
What? Evan,
what?
Are you still finding scam messages?
I was doing something.
We got no, you good. We just got a new business unit that we're going to start up.
What are we doing?
Fixing the broken industry with subliminal messaging.
Yeah, there we go.
Love
it. Splendid.
Love it. When do we get started?
Last night actually was when I was starting to mess around with this shit.
You should hit me up at night when you're doing something. See if I'm up, or see if Ryan's up. We'll do some shit.
I need to do that. We need to. I worked for a little bit last night, and actually I crashed at 1 o'clock. I crashed early last night. It was actually nice. I slept until about 9 something, which was like, haven't done that in a long time.
I got hit this week with just all the lack of sleep caught up with me.
Yeah.
When I went to go get the puppy, I was up for like 36 hours straight, and and so this week it's just like I can't get enough sleep. I'm just effed.
Yeah.
And then I've been working on the Harley, trying to get the damn wiring squared away.
How's that going? How's it going?
I'll have it done this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got the headlight done this morning or today, and then now I'm stuck on the left switch cluster. Just a mess.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to subliminal message people and get them to do what?
Ease off the accelerator, to be put. I think is the nicest way to put it, and actually be nice to each other. Apparently,
yeah, I was going to vote for courtesy. If we could start with courtesy and common respect for human existence, if those could be the first two objectives, I think we could really make the world a much nicer place to be in.
I can justify it on that as well. To me, this isn't doing anything nasty. I'm like, okay, if I mean, this just goes back to the whole thing with hacking. I'm like, I'm actually fine with hacking shit as long as I'm actually not doing anything nefarious. If I'm actually doing it for the benefit of society, I'm like, pretty much sign me up for it. And to me, this is like hacking the human for the benefit of human society.
You know, what's interesting is, and I'm going to take this back to the topic tonight, scams are simply hacking humans. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. It's the oldest thing in the world. It's the con man, right? Right? Well, what is con? Convincing.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Right? Con is also the uncle you have that just recently got out, right? But usually you put X in front of that.
I mean, does it count if I was in jail?
I think all three of us have at least had complimentary county bracelets applied to us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And hold out a car at gunpoint. We had 4 of us hold out a car at gunpoint.
That's fun.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was one of the Mercedes. This was years ago. We were breaking into a facility for the first 2 nights. I mean, we went hot knife through butter through this place. And I think they got, I mean, I know they did because we talked about it afterwards. And they got to the point where they were like pissed off with the fact we were just everything. And they basically were they were in the fuck it mode. So we actually went in a little bit earlier, took the door off the hinges and went in. When we came out, we put everything back in, got in the car. The entire fucking car park lit up. Like police cars, the whole lot. Unit on the roof, couple of dog units, everybody armed. We got taken out of the car one at a time, on the ground, hands behind the back, the whole lot. We ended up getting put into individual cars. Swede got out of his handcuffs and started fucking around with the actual computer inside the car. I'm sitting there giggling because Jesse didn't fit in the cop car. He's chatting up the police officer because she's sitting there with like a Mossberg shotgun. So he's talking like shotgun things with her. I'm just literally curled up. I'm losing it because everybody else is fucking around. And yeah, we got used that night for like their test, and we had a ton of fun. I mean, it was one of those. It was actually an awesome client. They learned a ton. I mean, we to their credit, I mean, they went through a ton of stuff, and we actually had a ton of fun doing it. But yeah, I mean, it was semi-serious, but you could definitely tell it was like, yeah, they got their own back. Let's put it that way.
That's what we call a fun interaction with law enforcement.
Yeah.
Positive.
My stories don't go quite like that.
Hey, what time did they show up at that one night?
I've been lucky, relatively lucky.
Showed up.
Yeah.
What up?
2:00 in the morning. They, not recently, but they showed up at, I don't know, 20 cops and surrounded the house, took me away.
Oh, shit.
And the warrant was canceled, so they weren't supposed to do that. But they didn't get word, so I still ended up in county jail for, I don't know, about 8 hours on my way to like the next. I don't know if you know how these things work, but you get processed for a little while. Yep. You're in a holding cell for a while.
Yeah.
And then you get the bus, and when you get on that bus, you don't come back. You end up in this case, it was Hennepin County Correction Facility, whatever. But all this was like a mistake. And I'm like, telling them the whole time, no. Mistake. And they're like, well, maybe, but we got the paperwork. And my lawyer was going on vacation. So he was in like the airport.
Yeah.
While my wife is frantically calling to get me released. So when the last stop before you get on that bus, they called my name and said, Evan, you're out. So my lawyer worked his thing.
Oh, wow. I had an ex that managed to get an arrest warrant out for me. I was down in Bolivia, came back from Bolivia, was in a couple of different places and finally found out there was an arrest warrant because something I'd done, had gone through. She lied about it to the court system that it hadn't, or financial transaction basically. And then therefore they put a warrant out. So, I mean, I landed, came in, got done, and figured out there was a warrant for me. And I was in a different state, so it would have been like a week's worth of fucking around between different states. Thankfully, I didn't go to where they thought I was going to be. Hunkered down, got hold of a lawyer in Ohio, and managed to get that one sorted out. But yeah, that wasn't a fun. That was not a fun few days.
No.
The one I'll tell goes like this. We got stopped for matching suspect description from a bank robbery that occurred 3 to 4 minutes prior to us getting stopped.
Ooh.
We were simply getting gas at a gas station, put the cap on the thing, pulled out, got about halfway up a roadway before we were surrounded by very aggressive, very angry, get out of the car, walk backwards with your hands on your head towards my voice, you know, like taken down. And we're just a bunch of dopey stone teenagers, like, what's going on? We don't know what's happening. And they're like, shut up, shut the F up, you don't know, right? They're just like, you know, because as far as they know, they just caught the bank robbers.
Yeah.
And so we get handled like bank robbers, which you'd never want to be handled like a bank robber. If they think you have a gun, they grab you different.
Yeah, they're not nice when they get to, yeah. Oh yeah.
And knees go to places you didn't know you had, and all kinds of fun stuff. Road rash on your nose because, hey, well, sorry about your face, except I'm not, because you robbed a bank. And then at the end of it, so about 20 minutes goes by, and then all of a sudden they're like, these ain't the people. Because they had a chance to actually review the footage and see the car in the parking lot, and oh, nope, not them.
My bad.
Yeah.
They just wiped the dust off. Yeah, okay, you're free to go.
Yeah.
I grew up in Minneapolis, right, in the 90s. I grew up in an inner city in the 90s, and I was very much out in the world as a child. So my interactions have been frequent and most often not pleasant, but not necessarily because they were being jerks, but more if you're going to be in that situation, that environment, those places,
yeah,
that's kind of how it goes. I mean, I had no business being where I was. I was up to some shady shit. Like, you make no mistake, you know. There was.
Well, I've been swept up in, you know, based on where I'm at and who I hung out with. Right, I've never been, you know, part of a biker gang, but I hung out with biker gang members, and so when they get in trouble, you get pulled in with it, you know, until they do all their background check stuff and realize, oh, okay, you're not part of the group. Like, yeah. No, I'm just hanging.
I had a good friend of mine, unfortunately, get swept up in a little bit of that mess 2 weeks ago. Shooting incident at one of the bars frequented by a certain type of biker gang, and unfortunately, one of his friends went down and did not get back up again. And Brett's amazing. Not part of the gangs, but definitely knows those people and keeps that people. But yeah, it's an interesting world. It sucks. But,
so scams.
Yeah, that's scams.
So it is the shit show after all. Here's the deal with scams. How many of us are really taking time to talk to people about this? And really, you know, well, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, and I know it sounds weird, but Evan and I did it. So we told you guys we were going to do it, and we did it. And I'm trying to edit the audio and the video. The setup was not what it will be going forward. So it's a little bit more difficult to get everything synchronized. And then there's a lot of background noise and muffled noise and what have you. But we did go out to a public park and we hit up random strangers.
First, we dressed up with button-down shirts, ties, and shorts. I was wearing sandals. You were wearing
sandals and socks. By the way, I've heard more about your sandals and socks since posting the picture to Twitter. They're like, we love this guy. Who is this guy? Who wears sandals and socks with a button down? So hats off to you. The outfit was phenomenal. Yeah. We learned a couple things. One of the things
Daniel.
Huh?
I nabbed Daniel.
Yes, we did. We actually got one person to sit and learn from us. Evan was very successful in getting people to talk. I not so much. My approach
I threatened him.
A little more direct.
Yeah, I threatened him. Like, Daniel, do you want to get out of this park alive? You talk to us. No, I didn't do that.
Actually, see that we don't know what he said. So just to be clear, Evan disappeared onto the horizon and came back with a dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're not sure how that went, but we did.
I really liked him.
And I think we just picked a hoity-toity park. I think we picked a park where nobody was going to want to talk to us anyways because they're stuffy.
Yeah, Eden Prairie
community over there.
I got a half a leaflet sorted out, and I actually end up practicing some of the speech up at the club a couple of nights ago on two of the folks that were up there. Great conversations, like seriously good conversations, to the point where they're actually going to think about it. I mean, one of them, TikTok all the time, realize what it's doing, understands what it's doing, didn't understand the implications of what it could lead to. Now they do. Now they're going to go back and actually talk to their kids about it. I'm like, yes.
Well, Sister Rachel shared something with me on social media this week where a daughter and father had a conversation. And Rachel, feel free to jump in and correct me if I get any of this wrong. My memory's shit. But basically, the daughter's like, oh, so I need to make my phone a burner phone to keep using TikTok? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to delete, my personals and whatever. So I keep TikToking, but do it safely. And honestly, I don't find anything wrong with that. Like, it's cool. Guys, believe it or not, I kind of want a TikTok. I had it. I was an early adopter. Then I figured out what it was doing and I got rid of it. But I kind of miss it. Like, it's a fun platform, right? But there's got to be a way to do it safe. So I guess I'm the guy that next time I get stopped by the cops, I also get asked why I have multiple phones in my possession. Well, see, officer, this one's for TikTok. This one's for LinkedIn. This one's for...
Do you have I know I keep all my old, not all, I keep most of my old phones. I
was thinking about that. Yeah, we all, dude, I'm pretty sure every tech in the world has a drawer full of every phone since 1998.
No shit. Just use it for wireless. Just drop it onto wireless and use TikTok on wireless. And then that way you have... I was
thinking about that, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way. And actually
Then I got to segment, and then I got to go get a different AP. Then I got to go over and splice the neighbor's fiber so it runs off of their network, not mine.
Just crack the AP and just be done with it. That's all I've done with my neighbors around here. I got the passwords for all their APs. I might have said this the other week. One of them was really cute. He had something like about when we first moved in, and very quickly I had a little bit of fun with it. Then
but I'm not going to get the bandwidth, Chris. I need them gigs. I got to have them gigs. I need to split that fiber at the pole.
You could just do QoS on the neighbor's network and just redirect full QoS just over to you. Give them at least enough that they can, kind of get buffering.
Yeah, well, we're on TV, so I'll say it this way.
Could you multiplex it or anything?
There may have been a wireless frequency that was offensive to one of my mice, and I may have done away with said frequency by going. Pew!
See, there we go. That's my case.
I just knew it was pissing off my wireless mouse, and I didn't feel like getting up and resetting the dongle.
It's easy that way. Just get into the network and do what you need to do. That's all I did. I renamed his network because he was like, he ended up, his new one is like, this is my network, this is my network, this is yours. And I actually rewrote it not long ago, about a month ago. I rewrote his network, his SSID to like, yes, I know it's mine. Just left it. It's fun. I love my neighbor.
The funnest SSID in my neighborhood is it hurts when IP.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. I have one of the antennas I have in here, I've actually amped up a ton, like quite a lot, because about a couple of, where I'm based, we're in a nice community. Go outside and go back out into the main road and down the road like half a mile is a civilian company that also does a bunch of work for NRO. And so one of my wireless networks is an NRO based network. So just for shits and giggles, I've just left it up.
Yeah, why not? You connected to it. It's your fault.
Exactly. Pretty much.
I like it. So I do feel like we do have to talk a little bit about our misinformation, right? That's what I want to get into next, right? Because scams are old. Okay, new tactics, but scams are as old as time.
Back.
There's nothing new about trying to hustle somebody out of a nickel. Think about back in the day with the wooden nickels, right? You got the just all the different scam prohibition. You had all the fake alcohol scams. Like there's always counterfeit goods. There's always scams. But what is new is the scale, volume, and immediacy of information war. Information war used to take time. It was a long game. You wanted to influence the society. You had to worm your way into multiple organizations. You had to, really, it took you a long time to influence societal change.
Yep.
We're now at a point where it takes me 10 minutes, tops. Yep. And I'm all up and everywhere. And I've got the message out everywhere in various forms and formats needed to be, modified to be consumable by whatever the target audience is, right? And then I can set that on a campaign, attach it to some AI to make minor adjustments over time. And I just unleashed a sophisticated, highly effective weapon. And well, we know for a fact that's what's going on. And it's only going to get more intense. Like I'm a little bit nervous about middle of October. And
well, I'm not, because we can already hack the machine. So we know anybody that's using a machine is, we already have their vote in our bag, whatever bag we decide we want to use it for. But yeah, everybody else, the write-in votes are going to be a pain in the ass to steal those ones. All that.
Well, it's not even just about the voting. Honestly, I'm not as concerned with the threat being that they hijack the actual count.
Mm-hmm.
That's small thinking. That's small short game thinking. What's far more effective is to change your opinion and how you vote.
Social engineer the population.
Absolutely. That is 1,000 times more effective for the long-term type of game that those groups are playing. They're not playing short ball. They're playing 50-year ball.
No,
well, you see that shit already happening, right?
You absolutely do. And you see us doing it to ourselves with our own regulation of whose content, not that I'm like, oh, woohoo, let's put a bunch of garbage on YouTube. But I get a little upset when I see it's like, well, we're going to call that a conspiracy theory and get rid of it. Well, maybe it is and maybe it isn't, but that's really getting close to and they can do it because they're a private company. They can control the speech.
Yep.
But we as a society are using it as the public forum.
Yeah.
And so I have an issue with that, where the private companies now control the public forum and how that can be weaponized and has been weaponized.
I was to say it has been weaponized. I mean, that's the big
You're talking scam. You're talking scam on like a grand scale.
It is, but it is, and it's going on right now. I'm seeing it. I'm watching families fall apart over the dumbest shit. Mask, no mask, red, blue. Really? Really? This is the family falls apart over this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. Grandma was a Republican. Grandpa was a Democrat. They got along fine. What the hell? Like, it's just the craziest stuff that I'm seeing. And the only thing that makes sense is that it's being done on purpose. I to your point earlier, Chris, about content in YouTube. Okay. It's being pushed. Like, it's pretty funny because I watch some different stuff, and I kid you not, Netflix is like, you want to watch documentaries on the Klan? No, really, I'm not. Like, it's got me pegged as like a hardcore right winger.
Yeah.
Because I've done some digging into, is this true or not true?
Yep.
And it's like, oh, you're a right winger. Well, actually, I'm not. I'm a centrist. I'm 100% in the middle. I want all y'all to behave yourselves. I'm sick to my stomach with everything I see on all sides. Right? So, but the algorithm's got me pegged one way, and it's changing the content that's available to me. I now have to hack Netflix to see, right? You have to go in. You guys know about secret searches, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go in, you do the secret search, and now I can see all the content, but it's not being promoted to me. And it's like, that's the shit I want to watch.
Well, that's the same thing with the Google algorithm. I mean, that was the biggest problem, and I don't know if it's been messed around with, but to me, that was the biggest problem with the Google algorithm. If I start searching for hate crime, let's pick a real topical. If I start searching for hate crimes against blacks, it's going to start showing me more and more of that. And if I start searching for the Klan hate crimes, it's going to start showing me more and more of that. All of a sudden, I don't get to see anything else. I don't get to see maybe where other ethnicities are being attacked. I don't get to see anything. I don't get a balanced view. I get a very narrow, targeted, this is kind of what you're up for view. And all of a sudden, even if I was broad-minded, all of a sudden my mind itself, if I don't think about it, is being brought closer and closer and closer into just thinking about this.
Well, and that's not taking into account bias.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere there's bias that you cannot get facts anywhere anymore, even the data.
I was talking about this earlier tonight. I was doing a webcast for Cyber Life Skills out of Australia. It'll be posted. You guys should go check it out. But one of the things that we talked about was exactly that, this weaponizing of the information, and the fact that even the trustworthy news source, the supposed trustworthy news source, that the headline is so sensationalized that it doesn't match the story. Like, it's clickbait. My wife pointed this out the other day. She goes, all the news is now is clickbait. That's it. Whether it's BBC, whether it's, and I like BBC. Now the stories, now I see where you're going, Chris. Now I'm going to challenge you on this. The headlines are clickbaity. The stories have content.
There we go.
But people don't read damn stories.
I disagree with that.
People don't read the stories.
I know, which is why I'm scared, because the headlines are clickbaity so bad. Even if the story tells a balanced viewpoint, the stupid headline is like the most sensational crap you could squeeze out of whatever the story is.
Right.
It's baby falls from window, saved by random stranger. Turns out to a baby got near a window and some guy in the park said, "Hey, get away from the window."
Yeah. Is it because everybody is fighting for clicks and for visibility and for I want to be liked. I want to be liked, therefore I have to embellish what I'm doing a little bit more or something.
Hacking the algorithm. It's all about hacking the algorithm, and the algorithm is biased towards sensation. It's biased towards conflict. It comes to the top of the stack. Open up Google News right now.
No, okay, hang on, hold that thought for a second. Is it that, or is it, perfect example, like my LinkedIn, I'll post, give or take a bit every single day on LinkedIn, sometimes every other day. I try not to post twice a day, but as soon as I post another post, that first post of mine it goes down considerably. It goes from like, woohoo, trending to meow.
Yep.
So to keep that engagement, you're almost driven to have to post on a everyday basis. And the interaction, I mean, don't get me wrong, I actually enjoy the interactions, but the interaction on that kind of stuff is, I mean, you almost feel like you have to. There's a drive to do things on there. And so there's that, and I look at it, I mean, Rachel and I got in it with, she got hit with somebody earlier on today on LinkedIn, and I looked at it and I'm like, my God, the only reason this post is up here is clickbait. It was bitching about CISOs, and I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with a lot of this. And Rachel, to her credit, actually turned and said, hey, this is shit, and here's why. And to her credit, she put it really articulate. And a couple of them went idiots. But it's that I need that clickbait shit.
Do you know who published it?
I can find it, or Rachel can tell us when she wants to. If not, I'll say and find it.
The more and more I see this stuff, I stay pretty quiet, in general.
Mm-hmm.
But the more and more I see this shit, there's a guy that I used to know, a founder of a big security company, and we were sort of friends, and now he's gone like way bigot. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know the meaning of the word bigot, so I had to look it up. I'm gonna look it up again because I forgot, because I suck at stuff. The meaning of the word bigot is a person who is intolerant toward those holding different opinions.
Ooh, I like that word. Oops.
That's what bigot means. And I've been called a bigot by my own mother. Thanks, Mom. And I'm not. I had to remind her, I'm like, I don't know if you're using that word right, So anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But it almost makes me want to start creating burner Twitter accounts and just calling these people out. Like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're a bigot.
Yeah.
And these are the reasons, or not even call them out like that. Maybe give a counterpoint. They're so on this one line of thinking. Give a counterpoint and see how they react, because I know how they react.
Well, yeah, cancel you for your counterpoint, shut you down, burn you out.
Right.
But
but then keep track of those. Keep like a bigot list.
I've got to delete it.
Bro, I don't got enough drive space for that. You want to buy me a new hard drive?
Right.
I'm running out of disk for keeping that bigot list.
Oh, don't even, especially after the last couple of months. Oy vey. I mean,
I wasn't going to go after left or right. I was going to go after both. There's bigots, right?
Oh, there's bigots all over the place.
Right.
Yeah,
it's not. That has nothing to do with politics. You gave the description of the word. It is. Right. It is.
Intolerant of other people's beliefs, right?
I'm intolerant of your intolerance. That was the first time I heard that. Somebody actually used that against somebody else. I'm like, what happened? What? The wheels came off the wagon. It did. It broke my brain for about 5 minutes because I'm like, I didn't hear that right. There's no way I heard that. You get to self-doubting. I'm like, no, it's got to be my bad ears. I didn't hear.
Yeah.
That's like when my mom called me, when my mother called me intolerant and a bigot. And I was like, what? You're in my living room.
That's the best place to call somebody that.
I mean, if I was intolerant, why the hell are you in my living room?
I just shot you the link for the individual. I'm not actually directly connected to them, but apparently they've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 certificates that they want to tell everybody about. So bless their little cotton socks. Oh yeah, they're all certified up the wazoo. Believe me.
Do we lose them?
Oh no. Oh,
I'm looking at
video go.
Oh, are you on the iPad?
Yeah, I'm looking at the link.
Yeah. Oh, all right. He's doing the cut over.
He is, bless him. Yeah, he's looking at the link. They're an interesting individual. Rachel was very nice. She was much very diplomatic, much more so than I think I ever was. I think all I ever did was step into that conversation and said, actually, I'm siding with her because she knows her shit. But yeah, it was pure clickbait, what he posted about. I think it was actually, I don't know to see if it was his most recent post or whatever.
Please stop whining and crying. Is it CISOs? Please stop whining and crying.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that was the one. I'm like, you asshole. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember coming across that one.
Yeah.
I didn't engage with it because the God's honest truth, I was not. Sometimes with social media, the minute I feel it turning me into the person I don't want to be, I back away.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you, I got opinions. Oh, I got some opinions. But are they good for you and are they good for me? And if I can't say yes to that, then maybe I'm just being pissy. And maybe I just need to step back for a second and reevaluate instead of post. And I know that's like a really advanced skill these days to like step back for a second and think before you fucking put it out on the internet for permanent and ever.
Yeah.
But,
I did that.
Right?
There was a post I was on last night. I think I commented. Somebody commented on a post I put a note on. And I did that. I actually took a step back, but I actually responded and said, hey, do you realize in my culture and my language, you've actually just insulted me by saying what you said. I don't think you meant it, but please clarify. Because, I wanted to go, I was ready to just rip out the throat, but I'm like, that's probably not right. And I don't think they meant it because I've had interactions with them before. But I need them to understand in my language, that's actually an insult. Oh, speaking of languages and insults, did you see, who the hell Yes, did you see the t-shirt? Evan?
I love the t-shirt.
I love it.
Yeah, I got the sweatshirt. I found the sweatshirt in my size. So thank you. That was awesome. Oh, I love that one.
Wait. Hold on.
I have so many of these.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That is oh, okay. Yeah. All right. That's freaking brilliant. That is awesome.
Chris, I got note that your shirt is shipped, so you should have that.
Sweet.
Speaking of shirts, this week I will be sending you guys mock-ups, or this coming week.
Ooh, yeah.
I played with it a little bit. I didn't like the service I was using. I abandoned it. I'm looking at a different service, but I should have some mock-ups to you guys by like middle of next week for shirts for the show. And then we just got to pick whatever we want and then put it in for set it up or whatever for ordering, and then make it so that we route that to whatever charity we want to route proceeds to.
I'm thinking about doing the next show shirtless, topless.
Okay, believe it or not, I had that thought tonight because it's hot as shit in my office right now. I got a fan going and I'm dying over here. I'm like, do I just show up trailer park style with no shirt?
I'm not doing that. I love you guys, but I'm like bright white. I would actually have to turn the lights off. I would still glow in the dark.
Topless shit show, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the highest viewer count yet.
Oh man,
no, you lose a lot of viewers.
Yeah, everybody would be like, yeah, this is scary. We don't need to see this.
I do want to share with you guys something, and eventually it'll show up in your social media feeds, but I know a lot of times our content can be days off from each other. Like we'll post something, it's like 4 days later we see it. One of our listeners reshared a post and said that this is the place to come for reasonable, balanced conversation. And I thought you guys should hear that,
we have balanced conversation. We failed.
There ain't nothing balanced about this.
We're not I'm paraphrasing. So for anybody that goes to check the post, I'm totally paraphrasing. I cannot remember for the life of me what the actual words were, but it was very sweet. It was very nice. And it basically said that we're kind of a refuge, if you will, from the bullshit.
No, that's actually really nice. And let's face it, that's kind of what we set out to do, was to call bullshit on some of this and just have the conversation. So thank you for that, for whomever. It's totally
cool. Absolutely. So this scam thing, so the big, huge scammy shit thing that you talk about, social engineering the public.
Yeah.
What can I do about it?
So starts with stop. It starts with stop. Stop and check the fact. Stop and check your feelings. Stop and think.
Left brain.
If we continue to react within nanoseconds of reading, we are not our best selves. There's a different part of us, an ugly part of us that's doing the talking. We can't just reshare it because Karen sent it. Okay, Karen sends me a post. That doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it true. The space aliens are now mandating masks. Click here to learn more. Right? It's stop. Just freaking stop. Pause for like 2 seconds and ask yourself, am I doing anything by resharing this information that helps the world be better? Why do I believe? So I'm going to pull off of last week's show. Why do I believe what I believe? Why do I feel what I feel? And maybe I need to take 2 minutes to go through that internally before I put my opinion out to the world, or before I support or promote somebody else's opinion that I don't know what's behind it. Yeah. I don't know if it's factual. Am I just sharing garbage? That is the number one defense we have against nation states who are very interested in influencing the way you think. Make no mistake, the number one battlefield today is your mind and your opinion. Make no mistake that billions and trillions of dollars are being poured into this to do this on all sides. I'm not picking on any particular group of countries. If you think that we're not doing it right back to them, you're foolish, because we are. So you have to guard yourself against this. You have to guard your brain. Your Bible tells you to guard your heart. Well, I'm going to suggest you guard your brain. Take a second, critically ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this true? Again, I love BBC. Chris loves BBC. I love BBC. It's one of my news sources. I go with BBC, I go with Vice, I go with NPR, and I go with the local news. That way I get shitty opinions all around.
Yep.
But what I get is the headlines. And honestly, I've kind of checked out. Like I'm going through this like mental health balance where I can't social media for a few days, or I social media lightly, which obviously affects the algorithm, affects how much my content gets seen. So then I feel bad about that. But then I got to check myself about feeling bad about something my cell phone did to me. I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
And all of it starts with how I'm viewing what I'm viewing, how I'm consuming what I'm consuming. And am I being a child and taking what I'm being told as 100% truth and fact, and there's no mystery left? Santa Claus is real. It's going down. Sorry, you shouldn't let your kids watch this show. So if they don't know Santa's not real, this isn't a kid-friendly show. But
I know where the Easter Bunny lives.
I do too. About 8 feet that direction, right? Because we don't do that though. We don't pause. We don't ponder, and we're afraid to talk about this stuff. I remember as a kid watching the old timers battle it out at a bar over, well, Reagan this and that son of a bitch that, and oh, I like him. I think he's pretty good. He's done this for us. Well, you're a fucking moron, Jeff.
Yeah.
Buy another round. Okay? Has turned into I'm fearful to share my opinion. I'm terrified of my political viewpoints. If that isn't the end result of the first information warfare campaign being successful, I don't know what is. That is the base erosion of democracy. That is literally what we're living through right now. Because democracy is supposed to be you're ugly and you suck. And I just told you that, and you had to hear it, and then you look at me and go, yeah, you're dumb, and you're ugly and you suck. And then I'm like, okay, but we still got to get this done. And you're like, yeah, I guess, and we struggle through it. So that's it. It's stop. It's STOP, right? Or halt. If you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, do not post anything. Do not make big decisions, and do not form long-term opinions. So that's my take.
I've not heard that acronym before. I actually really like that one. I fit into at least 3 of those.
Yeah, really good advice, Ryan. I love it.
Yeah, that's actually really freaking good.
Yeah, and for me personally, I'll just disconnect. If I'm connected for too long, I lose my sanity. I start getting caught up in the bullshit. I start doing shit that I wouldn't normally do. I start getting addicted to the same things that most people get addicted to, which is, the number of likes or the number of comments or whatever the hell I'm,
First
doing.
time I had a post went 100, boy, let me tell you.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
And then you realize, like, you disconnect and you get out in the real world and you realize nobody I'm around knows me.
Yep.
They give 2 shits about how many likes I have. They give 2 shits about Twitter handle. They give 2 shits about anything. So getting away, just disconnecting altogether is so damn healthy.
Well, and that's part of the balance of especially as we get closer to November. Please put your phones down. Just an hour a day. Just do me that. Like, you don't owe me anything, but I'm asking you a favor anyways.
Yeah.
Put your phone down an hour a day. I swear to you, your health will be better. Your life will be better. Your family will be happier. 1 hour a day.
Go on, Evan.
Sex life is better.
Sex life will be way better.
Here's one thing that actually, for those of you with other folks in the households, with Mo and stuff and other folks in the household, I've basically said, look, the great room, which is like the living room, but it's phone free.
Yep.
You want to come in there, you want to sit down in there, phone stays outside of that room. It doesn't come into this room. End of discussion. No electronics. You want to put the TV on, we'll kick back and watch a movie. You want to put some music on so we can sit and talk? Great. No electronics come into this room. End of discussion. And it actually seems, just started doing it, and actually seems to work out kind of nicely. I like it.
I've been that guy that straight up looked at people that have been over and said, "Are you here to hang out or play on your phone?"
Yeah, no shit. Dinner time, I'm like, dinner time, going out to dinner, put the fucking thing down. Get it away from the table. It is time to sit down, I mean, I take time, 6 o'clock at night, give or take a bit, I down tools. I don't pick them up again until 9 at night. Those 3 hours, don't even fucking think about trying to get hold of me. This is my time to stay the hell away from work for 3 hours. Leave me alone.
And truly, have you ever had a discussion, the best discussion you've ever had online? Does it even compare to the discussions you have in person?
No.
No, because you have a discussion and you can't run. You can't disrespect me in a way that, you know what I mean? You hide behind the keyboard.
I'm going to call a caveat. Zoom discussions are not equal to typed.
Yeah.
Oh, not
So
close.
have I had meaningful Zoom conversations? So Zoom for me is a digital piss poor representation of 3D real life.
Right.
But it's far more engaging than a non-video based, right? Like but I would still say the most meaningful conversation I've ever had has been in person, where there's a sharing of the vibe and the energy and the atmosphere and the, you know, certain places bring out certain things in people. I believe that wholeheartedly, that there are like little magical places in the world where the ambiance and the energy and the atmosphere is such that it's just, you know, the mountains is one of those places. Like,
yeah,
you know, I'm a little envious of Chris, but you know, because I see him post those pics when he's like, haha, I'm out here on the horse. Right? So, you know, because I've been there. I've been out in the mountains, and I'm like, okay, this is a different vibe. But I think, Evan, you're absolutely like right with the addiction piece of it. That's the other part of this. Like, misinformation is going to be so much easier to feed to these people because it's wrapped in their drug.
Right. Well, and you know me, Ryan. I mean, I'm an addict. I'm an addictive personality.
I've seen you with your cell phone and your smartwatch. I've watched you, and this is not to convict Evan, but I have watched him straight up ignore me in conversations because the phone got his attention.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on him as a person. He's just a human with a cell phone.
Well, and it's usually
guilty of doing it myself to others.
Dude, it's usually the computer. It's usually not even a cell phone. Like, you'll be talking to me and I'm writing something or creating something, and
cell phone's a computer. You're not going to win that argument with me.
No, I know, but it's usually at the computer.
Yeah, it is. But that's not. I don't see it as a sign of disrespect because I know how your brain works. But it is. They have done studies that show that just having the phone out changes how the interaction goes down. And the reason that's important is, again, this is everybody's life now.
Yeah.
And this is how they're going to do what they're doing. This is why we all hate each other. And we really don't have a good reason. There's a small percentage of assholes that need to be dispatched. I'll agree. But as a rule of thumb, the majority of people out there right now losing their shit, if you took away the feed of dis and mis and hyperbole and charged information that they're being fed 24/7, would probably be pretty rational, reasonable humans.
Here's the other challenge. Our own industry, and not necessarily just our own industry, we make these things addictive.
Hire psychologists to perfect the algorithms.
Oh yeah, and that's for me. I only have one game on here. It's Solitaire. It's the only game I allow myself to have, because otherwise on the S and the iPad, I'd have. I mean, I remember playing Clash of Clans and all those other games, and I spent money, like serious chunks of money on that shit. And because I wanted to be better, I wanted to win and everything. I'm like,
I'm playing this game. Can you see it?
Not easily. Oh, there we go. Yeah, kind of. It's a weird.
Hold on. Wait.
It's the golfing game. Is that like a golfing one?
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, I won't even play that. I can't do that because I am so freaking competitive. I don't like losing. I don't like coming second. These games are designed because I'm like, okay, I'll buy the chest of jewels for $100. Just get fucking pisses me off because then you sit there like a couple of weeks after this shit and you're like, why am I
play this game.
Yeah, I have Solitaire. That's it. That is the only game I will put on here because it's simple. It is. LinkedIn? Yeah. Not
Twitter.
No.
Yeah, I was linked to Twitter. Oh yeah, Twitter's it's scary. But it's we've built these things to take over. I mean, that's the other problem. We have to run it. We almost have to look at what we as an industry, we as a society have done. These are designed to take over.
Yeah.
So how
Well,
the
and-
hell do we fight it?
Well, we fight it by using the computer in between our ears. We use our fleshy computer. I know it's so hard. I get it.
That's
I
the problem.
do,
So
because
many
I'm
people
saying
don't want to do that. So many
like, I
people
don't know,
want to do that.
think.
Yeah, so many people
But
don't.
it's not even that simple, man. I mean, it is, but it's
Well,
not.
I get it. Yeah, on the one hand, it is very simple to say that, but the actual implementation of something is highly complex. I get
I mean,
that.
for me, it comes down to accountability, man. I have people that hold me accountable. You know what I mean? My wife holds me accountable. You hold me accountable.
I try.
I've got a management team who holds me accountable. You know, that's the kind of shit that I need. So I think a lot of it comes down to a support group too. A lot of people don't even know. They don't even know that they're addicted to that shit. They think it's all normal, right? They see
Well, they see
everybody else.
everybody else doing it. How could it not be? I mean, you know,
Right.
the walking zombies. You get out there and it's heads down.
And you know that talk about scam, right? One of the biggest things you can do to protect yourself from being scammed personally is situational awareness.
Correct.
When you got your head down on your damn phone, you have no situational awareness. If I was somebody who was, you know, a street thug and was looking to take your money, piece of cake, because you didn't even see me coming.
You didn't notice I was there. If the phone vibrates in your hand at the exact time that I touch your back pocket and take your wallet,
Oh
you
yeah,
don't even know I was there.
yeah, game
Right.
over.
I mean, you know, and honestly, it's thankfully some of that physical hijacking has gone down because it's easier for them to make more money digitally, and it's a less risky proposition. But I mean,
If I was
purse snatching still happens. Like,
well, and you take that situational awareness physically, and you can put it electronically too, right? Or on the phone. You get a unsolicited phone call,
right.
any sort, and they ask you for any kind of
Anything.
information. The situation is they called you, right? So no, you never give out sensitive information on any communication channel that you did not initiate, period.
Well,
Whether
I'll go one further. I got
phone
a
or email or
request on
anything else.
LinkedIn, right? I got a pending request on LinkedIn for somebody that is, Chris, you have accepted their request, but they only have 9 connections.
Bro, give me a name. That was actually one I was going to hit you up with, actually, because I'm like, there was one I was sitting with that I was actually, Anas Musa was one. Oh no, Craig's the 36 others. Anas Musa was one I got hit up with. And I saw it and I'm like, oh, you connected. I'm like, I'm going to ask you and see if you know this person. Think you hit them? Yeah, all right. Who did I hit up? Yeah, LinkedIn's an interesting one. It's really.
I just put it into the chat for you because I'm not outing people on the show.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, interesting. I'm good. I don't mind.
It's only got 9 connections, and I'm like, all my red flags are going off. Hey,
Yeah,
believe it or not, this is what I went through, people. All my red flags are going off. This is an automatic no. Oh, hey, wait, he knows Chris.
Yeah, you're right. It's one of those weird ones. It's tough because it's. Here's my logic for that one, and I know exactly who it is.
Getting started or
correct.
Right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's somebody in power, somebody doing network admin stuff, and it was one of those. I'm like, okay, they're actually connected to people on the power stuff, like Chevron and a few others. But it was one of those. I'm like, look, I mean, we all had to start somewhere on that one, and I'm like, because you're right. So I've had a few where people are like, do you realize this isn't? I'm like, thank you for the heads up, and culled it.
Yep.
There's been a couple.
Well, because I think you and I are far more willing to accept connections from unknowns who might be trying to get a foothold in the biz.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's my
the
thing.
first to admit that. I'm very much interested in helping people that don't know anything about this or just new into it, or
I got hit up by I gave a talk. I gave a lecture at Purdue a week or two ago. Totally fantastic. Had a ton of good time. and then got hit up with a bunch of LinkedIn connections. And there was like somebody from like a grocery store and somewhere others. And those are ones I would normally question or ask. But then I realized that they were studying at Purdue. So it's those ones that I'm like, I will take extra. I do wish. Okay, here is my one freaking wish. I wish that people, especially people who are outside of our industry, but definitely people who are coming in, would put a freaking personalized intro into their LinkedIn when they want to connect. I wish people would do that more often. And then that way I don't have to go digging and figuring out who the smek they are.
Right.
Not that that's perfect, but.
No, but yeah. And, you know, but then again, you know, we know these red flags. Right?
Yeah.
But even we've got our soft spots.
Oh.
Everybody's got, you know, and that's the problem with the scams and what they're evolving to, you know, and you know this, the new flavor of business email compromise is, I'm going to take my sweet time. I'm not going to fish you now. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's a one-time deal. I get caught.
Yeah.
Let me slow roll this over the course of the next 6 months and see.
Yep. Oh yeah. It sucks. You know, and it's, I go back to what you said, which I'd never heard before, and I really, really like it. Gabrielle and I were talking about how do we influence people? How do we talk to people? How do we get people to think? And I love, don't get me wrong, I love what, smeg, our brain's gone completely to sleep. I'm sitting on LinkedIn. I should probably figure out who the hell it was. He's going to kill me because I can't remember his freaking name. Oh, shit, he's going to totally kill me. Anyway, I love what somebody, the don't click shit. Why can't brain is totally scrambled at this person. I've had too much to drink, I think, apparently.
No, it's 11:30 or 10:30 at night your time, so.
Yeah, which is still early for me. That's the problem. Oh God, I'm so out of it. Anyway, whatever. So, you know, as much as I want to turn around and say, hey, don't click shit, we can't do that. As humans, we do click. Let's be perfectly honest. And then it was that, oh, there was it. Gabrielle wanted this one. It was click responsibly. But I do love your, hey, I love your halt. Hungry, angry, lonely type. Don't engage. I love that. I think that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, just don't. Whether it's digital or physical. If your spouse wants to talk to you about the relationship and you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, that ain't the time.
Yeah.
That ain't the time.
I've got his book. I helped curate his book. Hang on, this is pissing me off. I'm really pissed.
All right, well, he's getting a book. I'm taking a break too because now Evan's back. So Evan, you get to entertain the audience.
What am I going to do? Well, here, I can do this.
Do a dance.
Win. It was Win. God,
Yeah.
he'll kill me. If he ever sees this, he's going to kill me.
Who is he thinking?
Win Win Schwartz. Big Win. Here, I'll send this thing. Win's, Win Schwartz up. There we go. I love, Win's good people. I helped him do a bunch of his book on the analogous security. Totally awesome conversations. Amazing audio file, like seriously amazing on that back end side of the audio stuff, like freakishly amazing.
Cool.
This beer's good.
So's this Diet Dew.
No, that's just nasty. This has nutrients. It has good stuff in it. Your stuff has chemicals and crazy shit.
I can't drink that. Oh, that thing. Yeah, I can drink that.
No, you can't drink this, to your point. No, we've got to find you something better to drink, though, than that nasty ass stuff.
I know.
What the hell proof is this, for God's sakes? I don't know.
It was in the fridge.
It's good. It was yummy. It was actually really yummy.
My wife made a whole batch of chocolate chip cookies, too.
Ooh, homemade chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah, so I had like 5.
Had a few.
Hey, Ryan's back.
Back.
Yay. Awesome.
All right. So what the hell were we talking about? I didn't do any entertaining.
How do we fix this? How do we deal with this? How do we get hold of normal people and deal with it?
Well, halt's a great technique. Now we need what we've always needed, and we ask everybody to do this, right? Do your part. Evan and I are going to continue to be goofy bastards, and we're going to go talk to people. We're going to go, you know, to parks, to parking lots, to whatever. I mean, I've got a bullhorn. I was thinking about just hitting a busy street corner and shouting to people to use multi-factor authentication. I mean, it's honestly, it's the silly, stupid stuff that's going to help us bridge that gap. People want to be entertained. Hard stop. So are you entertaining and engaging? Now I'll listen to what you have to say. First, you have to be entertaining. First, you have to give me a reason to want to give you my focus and my attention.
Yeah.
So I love TikTok idea, right? I mean,
yeah.
That's how I think we really do it. I think we got to get them where they are. We got to get them on their level. We got to, you know, where does somebody find a video game company that's willing to work a few cyber components into their video game?
Gabrielle and I were talking about this. We were actually partway through putting like the Hacker's Perspective game. So I did a talk a number of years ago called Gunning for Grandma. Had a ton of fun doing it, about basically how to, and it was all for like, I used to give it at like some of the old people's homes and stuff like that. So we've taken the general idea of that, and Gabrielle and the team are building out this whole, like, you're actually the scammer. Do you want to be nice to grandma? Do you want to scare the crap out of grandma? Do you want to do this to grandma? And you get to choose your adventure. And as part of that, and as you choose your adventure, you get a profile. You get grandma's profile. You know, she likes horse racing. She likes this. She likes this. Well, if you choose that she's won a car, you get less points because she's not going to care. But if you choose that she came second on a betting system and you get better points. So we're actually building that at the moment. It's like the Scammer's Perspective. So that's in the works. We haven't had a chance to focus on it for a little bit, but stuff like that. What happens with the Oprah? We'll talk about Oprah in a minute.
Well, so, and I'll take it one step further than that. And by the way, I think that's a fantastic idea. Send me the beta when it's ready. Activision. I need a character in your game that's a cyber guy.
Ooh, yeah.
I need some, Chris, I wasn't kidding. You need to write some cyber romance fiction. I'll tell you what, I'll ghostwrite it for you. Okay.
Oh my God. No.
And he had the lockpick set as he
Robot porn. Robot porn.
Doorstep.
Robot porn.
Right? I'm just saying.
Oh, we
what
could
are
have a
people
ton
spend
of
their
fun.
time on? What are people engaged in? I know I'm being a little bit silly and facetious, but that's exactly what we need. We need,
yeah.
You know, our jokes are only got by us. So we better come up with some jokes that span the gap, right? You know, we need a little comedy. We got plenty of tragedy. So it's time to have some comedy. Something, I mean, what's going to get my buddy who doesn't give a rat's ass about the things except the things he does to want to give the time of day, 2.5, 3 seconds of his brain to anything that we want to talk to him about?
It is gamifying it. It's making it fun. It's basic. So this was part of the whole thing with the dictionary that we put together. What I want to do is turn that into like a fun book. So for each of the letters or each of the words, I want to do a cartoon with each one of them. Like something along the lines of like XKCD, Dilbert-esque kind of thing, to just get people to think, to get people to engage, to get people to take that extra step, to maybe take those 5, 10, 15 seconds. That would be something that I think would be absolutely fantastic.
I mean, that's honestly, that's what I think it takes. I don't know. Ev, what's your take? How do you think this bridge?
Well, there's no one thing.
I like that. Good answer.
It's we live in an easy button, instant gratification, consumer world, right? So, you know, different things resonate with different people. You know, I think we've learned this, you know, from our own work in the S2Me and our own talk with Gabriel and Chubb, the insurance company, and the Cybercrime Support Network, because we're trying to reach these people that it's not one message. You know, one message doesn't resonate with everybody. And I think the fear message doesn't resonate. People don't give two shits anymore.
No, you're right.
You know, we've overspent that.
Right. They're thoroughly scared. Now what?
Right. I think you've got one message for one group of people, maybe the elderly people. You've got another message for, it's like that same thing that I've preached, that information security doesn't fit in a bucket. It's in all of your buckets. So you have to look for ways to integrate information security into everything, everyday life. Every single thing nowadays has a security implication to it, right? Everything is connected everywhere. So I agree. Make it fun, make it humorous, make it stand out, make it something that people want, make it addictive. The same way we make these games addictive on our phones, somehow figure out a way to make cybersecurity addictive. I need more. I learned something really cool and I got this benefit from it. What's the next thing? What's the next step I take?
So what kind of ridiculous challenge can we come up with?
Right.
What's the cybersecurity challenge? What are we dumping on our heads or putting in our mouths or,
Well, I'm dumping it on somebody else's head.
Well, but think about that. Think about how quick something like that spreads.
Just goes nuts, doesn't it?
What's the cyber? So audience, come on, ideas. What's the cybersecurity challenge? And no, it is not shit because it's a shit show. I already thought of that one and abandoned it.
I'll eat a baby Ruth.
Eat a baby Ruth? All right.
Yeah. Because you remember a Caddyshack, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, God, yeah.
Remember it? Love it.
Didn't it just celebrate its whatever the hell birthday it was? I just saw something on one of the Twitter LinkedIn verses that it just celebrated like an anniversary or something. Last couple of days, last week or so, it's just like a 25th or 35th or 40th or something scary.
And I think, to your point, Ryan, too, there, we had the same thing with credit risk, right? We created a score that meant something, right? If I wanted to get credit, I got a benefit for a higher credit score, right? We need to create some kind of same thing where there's a benefit for having a better cybersecurity score. Maybe you get a deal on loans. You get maybe a quarter APR cut or something. We need to have industry participate with us. Stop being lazy. Reach out to the consumers and give them benefits for doing security well. The company also benefits. Like if I'm a bank and, my customers are more secure, that's less money I lose as a bank, right? I mean, there's an ROI because my customers are not falling for phishing attacks nearly as often or whatever, right?
So we did a little bit of that, and that was one of the things I was trying to do with one of the companies that I finished at in 24 hours time, actually, was looking at the insurance industry and helping them helping the insurance industry understand their clients more effectively. If they understand their clients, they can profile them. The clients understand that their risk is X, and it was actually using the stuff that you guys have built, and it was trying to get that out to all the insurance companies to basically go, hey, look, all of your clients are at a 500. They suck. You're going to lose lots of money. However, if you help your clients do this, this, and this, they'll raise to a 600, a 650, and a 700. And by the way, when they raise, you can also help them by lowering their premiums, 10%, 5%, whatever. Give them something as an incentive. And so that was a huge premise of the conversations that we'd had. I don't know, long conversation on that one, but
who wants to see me and Evan dress up in this?
No. But Chris, to your point, that's exactly why we're working with Chubb right now. That same reason. Chubb is really interested in it because it's a differentiator.
What it should be, and I love it. That's what's needed, because again, money in the pocket, money out of the pocket. That's an impact.
Mm-hmm. And the incentive for Chubb not to create this thing by themselves is it doesn't translate into other places. So if you can create something that's not dedicated to one individual company, it's available to all companies. Well, then you've got that translation across, for everywhere.
Right.
Which then be more.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a number. The studio stuff that you guys have built is freaking awesome. It does what it needs to do, which is it's not abstract. It's not this fuzzy weird thing. It's a freaking number. I can focus on it. I know that if I do X, it changes. I love my maturity model. Don't get me wrong, But again, that's still a little abstract. It's like, well, okay, we're a 2, we need to be a 3, we're this. And it's like, I like it, but this is a number. We understand that number. I can't go get a car loan from a decent company because of where my score is. I know that. I know I'm penalized by that. My role now is to keep building my freaking credit and pay my subprime shit that I have to for the next couple of years so that I can do that.
Well,
Yeah,
so
and
I
we're
got
working-
one for you.
We're
that,
even working with
what?
people like Gabriel too,
Yeah.
because Gabriel knows product. That guy is amazing, and so he gave us some great input on how to make it more usable, more consumer friendly.
We had we actually had a group meeting with the entire company today. I hung out with those guys on that meeting. It was fantastic because he started to give the vision, and a lot of the stuff we're talking about, I'm like, oh, this is the stuff they're thinking about. How do we outreach? How do we get to the TikToks? How do we get to the social medias? How do we get the message out to people that, you know, to Rachel's point, are not on our island?
Right.
And effectively, in a simple 30-second skit, you know, Ryan wearing the mobile telephone or whatever the hell it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever the hell it takes.
Well, one thing I'd like to see is I want all the insurance actuary tables for house fire risk updated to reflect bad power, to reflect smart ovens. Your actuarial tables are out of date. Please reevaluate your risk formulas based on new risk.
Smart oven, smart plug, smart devices. I mean, you name it.
Smart anything. You got a shitty old HP printer? Here, watch this.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, but that's what it comes to. So it's twofold. It's what Evan talked about with having the score, but it's also getting them to go back and revisit their actuary tables because there's now real physical risk that is digitally caused. And that means that their current math model is out of whack. They're actually not using the most accurate actuary models because they're not accounting for the fact that you can remote start a Bluetooth speaker on fire. You can remote start an oven on fire. You can remote start a smart charger on fire. You can remote start any IoT that you can manipulate current on.
Yeah.
You can cause a fire. I was talking earlier with Steve on the other one, and he's got a smart pool. He's got this wacky little setup on the side of his house, and all the pool controls ultimately run through this Raspberry Pi embedded within a wireless AP that connects to his cell phone app. Well, the minute he connects that bridge, he's now introduced that device into his corporate network and into his home network.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
So what are we wearing?
Didn't you see the cell phone costumes?
I saw the cell phone costume. It was awesome. We need.
Well,
I don't know if we need those, but
because if we're in the cell phone costume, you see, then people are going to want to engage because we're in a cell phone costume. And people are weird and want to engage with stuff that's weird.
That is true. That is true.
I'll put the link in the chat for you so you can pull it up and see.
It was definitely interesting.
This was suggested to us by our friend Steve. And there's a little video that accompanies it.
Do I like Steve?
Yes, you like Steve.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I like Steve because he's recommending a cell phone costume, but you know what? It does the job. For those of you that are wondering what the hell we're talking about, I'm actually I'll cut and paste it in. No, I won't. Control Z.
What size do you think I am? XL or XXL?
I don't know what my styrofoam costume size is. I'm assuming it's.
No, let's face it.
Yeah, it's one above whatever your clothes are. I would assume.
Oh, there we go. Size XXL, 185 to 190 height, in inches, 72 to 74. Yeah, I'm definitely XXL. Yeah, I need one of these. Actually, no, I do not need one of these. I don't want one. I don't need one.
Am I ordering these?
No.
If you do, I'll wear it, and I'll even tackle a stranger.
Ooh, I could run around the golf course. I could run around the golf course outside the house. I live in a I live in a community where there's a golf course around us. It's like the new version of a moat. No, they can't build on the environment, so I know we're fairly safe where we are, and I can see people coming, which means I can shoot them from 300 or 400 yards away. So that's the way I look at it.
I'm buying them.
All right, you buy it, I wear it, and I will megaphone to people about information and cybersecurity from the street.
That actually might be fun. I could stand on the street corner and do that.
Why not? Everybody else is standing on the street corner yelling stuff. It's my turn.
Dude, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna wear it instead of tackling strangers. You and I are gonna sumo wrestle in it.
Ooh. Ooh, I like this.
Right?
People will stop to see what we're doing. I guarantee it.
That is true.
That's
I do
just
feel
going.
left out. I need to get my ass up to your neck of the woods. I just need to. Oh, I went looking at RVs the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, looking at RVs, like proper RVs.
You can borrow
Like the
mine.
bus, like the full-blown bus that I pushed
like
left
a
in the side
class,
panels.
whatever the hell it is. What do you have?
I've got a 1978 Chevy C30 van motorhome.
Oh,
It is rich with shag carpet, vomit green, get my britches brown. I got all your really drab earthy tones that hide stains well. It was the 70s after all.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is a gem. It's sun faded as shit, but the interior is perfect.
I found one. I actually went to look at it earlier on. I took a break, went to look at it earlier on, and outside, yeah, definitely shaded. Interior is in gorgeous nick. And for me, I can chuck the dogs in there, throw stuff in there, and just get in the damn thing and go. Started to look at doing that because again, heading up to you guys or heading out to the lake in Minnesota, in New Hampshire or anything else, or just even up to the hills or DEFCON or anything like that. I'm like, I'm getting to the point where I can do that. I can have the computer set up. I can have all my gear and all my shit in there. We can just pick up and go and do whatever the hell we want.
Absolutely.
I'm very close to having it finished. The tranny pan just arrived today.
Nice.
I got to 78, man, them bolts and them seals. And so I just got a whole new pan and seal and bolts and all that. Swap the tranny pan out. And
Oh, wow. Evan, what do you have? Do you have one as well then?
Yeah. Mine's right over there. It's a 37.5-foot travel trailer.
Nice.
It sleeps way more than we needed. We bought it because we had friends that came with us all the time.
Yeah.
Now I don't have any friends anymore, so just have a big travel trailer. No, I'm just kidding. But it sleeps 10.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was like, I want something big enough because I'm not exactly small. And some of these like 20-odd foot ones, I'm like, I get into the shower and if I sneeze, I will blow the windows out. And my head sticks like up in that like shower cave piece that goes, yeah, no, that ain't going to work for me. And I'm like, okay, if we're going to go across country, I want something that we can get in comfortably, throw 2 big ass dogs in there comfortably as well. That's like 4 people when you think about it. Space to work, space to kick back, space to relax, space to not be under each other's feet. And comfy drive and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, that whole like 30 plus is definitely seems to be the case. There's some actually really nice ones. There's some fun ones out. So yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some really nice fifth wheel. They've almost got like 10-foot ceilings in some of those. I mean, they're really cool.
they got some nice. I was looking at some new stuff, and I'm like,
but
don't you got to take a mortgage out for them joints, man.
Yeah. I went looking the other day, and the cheaper new bus style ones were like 150 plus. The nice ones are 300 plus, and the oh my god are 700, 800, 900 plus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Prevost, one of the Prevosts I went in was 1.1.
Well, don't go in it. I learned a lesson a long time ago about things like that.
Too late. I went in this.
Oh,
fireplace.
Now everything's gonna be it's good, but it's not quite.
I don't want granite on the floor. I want carpet because otherwise the dogs are going to be doing this shit every single time they get here. Like, hey, we're driving. And the dog's like, fuck it.
Obsidian Arrow makes a really good point on the.
Yes, he does.
That's exactly. We gotta stop. We've got to think of another cooler word.
Safety. To me, it's
Chris, I think for the next episode, and you're the guy to help us do this quickly. Time to set something on fire. Let's do a demo. We're gonna make a little video called "Look What We Did." I love Obsidian's idea. I think this is fantastic. Part of how we begin to change the narrative is demo, but we do it in a way that's fun, with a little bit of humor, and right, because let's be honest, we've all watched some like hacking demo videos, and about a quarter of the way in, I want to suicide myself, and I'm not a believer in that at all. And I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Watch me click this box, and then I type these letters. We need to do something a little more fun, but we need to show people what the real reality is. And honestly, if we cause a couple speakers and just let me know what you can expense it to me.
Hey, next Thursday I'll be in Mitchell, South Dakota.
So about that.
Oh,
So-
you got it's but yeah, I was gonna say it's 2-wheel jobby, isn't it?
So
yeah, but we're laying over Thursday night in Mitchell, which means that I'm only there for a little bit of time, so I can do something and then get out of town before they.
I like where your head's at. How are you going to raise security awareness at Sturgis? If you had to, and I'm not suggesting you do so because I know it's your unplugged time, but if you were to go up to a biker.
Oh yeah.
And I don't mean a Hollywood one. I mean a real one.
Oh yeah, I'm with Bobby, man. You know Bobby.
I do know Bobby. So what's your pitch to Bobby? How do you engage the Bobbies of the world?
Yeah. All right. You want me to?
I have an idea for you. I actually have an idea for you. Let me see if I can get it to work. If I can.
I'm just saying, Chris, we need to fuck some shit up. Okay?
Whoa. Whoa.
No, I have a way. How many bikes are up at Sturgis?
500,000-ish.
If you're suggesting Evan toy with their bikes, I like Evan. I'd like to see Evan again. I don't know that that's a good idea.
He can blame me. I mean, he'll just be holding the device. If
I can get away.
You can get away with it?
Oh yeah.
What would do if I can ship you a device that I can remotely manage and control and is basically the size of a big Arduino, and I can disable about 5,000 to 10,000 of those bikes as a demo?
Yeah.
I like what you're saying. I'm still concerned for Evan's safety, but I like what you're saying.
I have a way of doing it. And I think I can do it. I've got the weekend. I have the weekend. I've got Sunday because Jen's riding on Sunday. So I got Sunday that I can actually finish building it. I built something for somebody a while ago, and it was a little bit bigger than an iPad case, and we could do some very nefarious things with it remotely, like really nefarious, like car park fulls of things nefarious.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can do. I like Ryan's idea, though. That is the problem. I like you in one piece. Let me test.
Rachel, we ain't talking about scammy shit anymore.
But we are.
We lost our way again.
We kind of
Look,
did.
guys, I gave up a long time ago. This was the ADD episode. So, squirrel, I'm honoring my purple squirrel. I hope you're doing the same.
All right, so let's real quick because it is, I don't know, almost midnight.
Oh my God, it is, isn't it? Yeah, that's awesome.
Chris, you're gonna send me some shit. I'm gonna try talking some information security stuff into some bikers next week, right? Which I'll talk to you Thursday, so you can remind me because I'll forget. But then the scammy shit, right? We talked about this big picture scammy shit. You gave this really cool advice about Halt, which I think is awesome, man. You got to put that in the notes. Maybe update or maybe write another blog post about that. On the securityshitshow.com, because that's very, very helpful. I got a lot of help out of it, and I know Chris did too. Yeah. Another thing, personal scams, situational awareness is really, really important. I've always lived by the rule, and it's always served me well. I don't get scammed. Not that I couldn't be. I just don't. I never, ever, ever give out any sensitive information on any communication that I didn't start. Period.
Yeah.
Phone call, email, whatever. If I didn't start this communication channel, you're not getting anything out of me.
I agree with that, and I will add to that. For me, my personal technique is I don't need to win the Publishers Clearinghouse. I don't believe that that's true. I don't believe that that's true, and I don't believe that that's true. There is no free money. I was raised by a man who instilled in me many things, and one of which was there is no free lunch. Somebody's trying to get one over on you.
Right.
And it's just, it served me well. Except for that issue I had in Vegas where I was just being a dumbass, and that was my fault, and I paid the penance for it. But as a general rule of thumb, in person or online, I don't know. I mean, and I'm not suggesting everyone live as skeptical as I do, but healthy skepticism goes a long way. There is a healthy degree of skepticism you can have.
It has to be these days. I think that's the challenge. You go back 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you only had the newspaper and word of mouth. So you didn't have as many inputs. Now we have so many freaking inputs with so many different ways of thinking about things and so many ways of them being influenced. You almost have to have. This is why I put the post out the other day, and I think it was actually in relation to this. It was, I used to be trust but verify. I wanted to be nice. I wanted to trust people, and I still do. But at this point in time, I'm like, fuck it. Verify, then trust. And then somebody else added, keep the loop going. Keep that loop going. Continual verification. It's got to be that way. For me, I love the halt. I've written it down. I'm like, man, I want to play with that. Like, seriously want to fuck around with that in serious ways.
Believe it or not, that is the most powerful tool you can put in your arsenal to prevent you from making decisions at a time that you're not at your best self.
Where did that come from? Is that a youism thing, or does that come from?
No. It's an actual thing. So it's not me. I take no credit for it. I'm the first to bring it to our world. I'm the first to say in the world of cyber to do this. But halt is a concept that's been around for a while, and it comes down to if you've had any kind of trauma in your life, if you've ever been in where you're going to find yourself in a situation where you need to make a decision, and if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you are in a diminished capacity. You are not actually at your peak of capability for making important decisions in your life.
Yeah.
And so it just rings true. It does. You take 2 seconds to think about it. You suck as a human when you're any of those things.
Yep.
You are at your worst self. You are at your most irrational self. You are at your most impulsive self. You are at your most self-doubting self.
Yeah. To me, it pushes you straight to that fight or flight. And for me, it's fight. Yeah.
I took a long time not to solve the problem with what you say to me.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly.
You better look, motherfucker. You better not look up to me when I'm talking down to you. Yeah. Right. I mean, it was fight time for sure. And I'm a skinny dude, so we're not gonna do this.
You're like a javelin. You're like
I'm quick and I'm effective because I know how to use equalizers.
If we threw you, you're like aerodynamic. You would fly further.
I am a very aerodynamically streamed toothpick. Yes.
But you're wily.
With wheelchair legs, as my wife who loves me so informs me that I have wheelchair.
I remember one time it was I don't know, 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that. And no, maybe whatever. And this dude was talking shit, right? This was small town, and so you don't talk shit in small towns because somebody's gonna get their ass kicked, right?
That's so I stepped Titans words.
Right. I stepped up and I was looking at this kid and I'm like, piece of cake. He's like half my size, So I'm giving him a chance to step off, right? He didn't step off. So, you end up fighting. He kicked my ass. And then I found out later that he was a 3-time state champion wrestler. It was like, fuck, that was bad. So be careful who you pick fights with.
Another sage advice from my father. Mind your mouth, child. There is always someone bigger and badder than you.
Yep.
Be careful what you say to who.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget his name. I'll never forget his name either. His name was Matt LaJoy. You never forget that shit. You know what I mean? When you get your ass kicked.
And by the way, that's something else I'd like to bring back to our society if given the chance to be dictator of the world. Bringing back ass beatings. I'm sorry. Good old fashioned ass whipping. You got way too far out of line. It's time to correct you. Nothing permanent, nothing, nothing that won't, cold steak and a bag of peas won't fix, but just a whomp upside the head. Like, no, wrong. Try again.
Well, I think if you say fighting words on Twitter or social media,
Oh God, cancel you. I cancel you.
No.
I want to find you.
Exactly.
Oh, that too.
Make it a law that if you use fighting words on Twitter, you have to actually engage physically now.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Twitter would become quiet overnight.
Man, that would be so. Yeah, I want a name, address, and a fucking telephone number on Twitter.
The
a legitimate one, by the way, not a
Well, so here's the deal. I'm split personality on this. The privacy guy in me says no way, no how. The human in me says, please introduce an internet driver's license so I can hold you accountable for the stupid shit you just spewed out into the world.
Yes, 100% with you.
You get fired because, hey, dummy, we don't say that in public. Those were private thoughts. They belonged inside your head.
That's what I've actually enjoyed with some of the videos you've seen surface, like some of the CEOs and some of the various other people, or the Karens, for want of a better way of putting it. Some of that. I love the fact that we are armed. Yeah, I love the fact we're armed with basically recording devices that can instantly catch. And then people try to backtrack. I'm like, actually, no, this is who you fucking are. Own it, accept it, maybe go learn about how to be different.
Yeah.
I got a good note from a good friend of mine. Actually, not just a friend of mine, freaking his friend, family, and neighbor, retired sub driver across sub and intel across the fence from me. He's actually listening, or he was listening, and he's like, we need kids books. They're playing the games, they'll push the parents. And I'm like, yeah. Gabrielle and I have been talking about some of that stuff. And there's some other things we've been messing around with. Back to the ABC stuff. There's a really good ABC book out there on our industry. But I've got the C for Cthulhu book as well. Oh dear. What are you sending me now?
That's for you watch that later. That's the Karen music video.
Oh, deal.
All right, I gotta go to bed. I got work to do. No, I'm not going to bed. I just lied. Sorry.
I appreciate you. I do. I enjoy this every freaking night.
Yeah.
Man. No matter how ass kicked I am, I get on with you guys, and this is.
Yeah, it's hugely appreciated.
This is good.
It's awesome. Hey, Chris, or I don't know what your topic is going to be next week, but the week after, I'm going to bring up. It's going to be around mental health.
Ooh.
I'm game.
Yeah, that'll be really good. We talk some deep shit because, I mean, especially this week. I've just been wobbly. I was telling you guys that before the show started. I can't figure out where my balance is right now, and I'm just kind of fucked up with that. So,
well, that's because you need time off.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
You need to unplug. I've watched the unfolding of how things have impacted you. So there's the Evan I had before COVID, and there's the Evan I have now. Mm-hmm. They're not the same Evan.
You don't love me anymore, do you?
But they're not the
you
exact
don't love me
same.
anymore. You don't love me anymore.
That ain't it. I love you more than ever. It's just like you, just like me. I've said this before. Wherever you were in life, wherever your level was, this COVID shit took it up 10 levels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever issue you had, whatever mental health concerns, substance use or abuse, life, you name it. If you had it going on in your life, it's just been amplified. My ADD has never been worse in my whole life. I've taken more medication for it in the last couple of months than I have in the last 10 years because it's out of control. So I'm looking forward to the mental health conversation. I've got plenty to add as one who suffers and one who lives with one who suffers and has raised one who suffers. And, but yeah, so be at peace, people. Be at peace. Be at love. Take a deep breath. Tell somebody something nice. Here's the last advice I'll give for tonight. If you like other people's content on Twitter and you give them congratulations, the algorithm will actually shift to feeding you more positive content. So if you need a break from all the negativity, be more positive on the platform and you will see more positive things in your feed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go give likes to Chris's and yours, our puppies. Shit, we have
Yes, love the puppies. I love the puppies. You should love the puppies.
That's about all I post on Twitter these days. That and some other stuff, but I stay away from most other things on Twitter because I don't want to deal with some of the
scrolling's getting tough.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, it's good to keep an eye on things like Ian Coldwater and the folks like that are having to deal with some of the shit they're dealing with, and like at least try to send them hugs on a regular basis. But yeah, for the most part, try to stay away from some of the shit that's going on.
yeah, but it's bringing out the worst in people.
Oh, yeah.
100%. So be well, be at peace.
Yeah.
Find an hour away from your phone. Tell a friend. Take time to talk to somebody about this. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you guys too. Everybody on the call, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. As always, thank you. You guys, everybody take care.
Have a good night.
All right.